Of course, to have Rabbi Glatstein speak, I once want to share one short personal connection. That I'm sorry if I have that right. Rabbi Glatstein was spent time in the yeshiva that I was in, and I the memory that I have, as we all know, Rabbi Glatstein, if you've heard him before, he's a tremendous speaker and well-known speaker. But he's somebody that spent years and years and years in Beis Medrash learning. The memory I have is that he would sit in the library, the Otzer Sfarim, and just the entire day learning from all different kinds of Sfarim. If you ever learned to study Rabbi Glatstein's speech, he's a tremendous Talmid Chacham who has a knowledge of the most basic Torah and the most obscure Mar Makomos throughout Kol Torah Kula. And that only comes about when somebody sits and learns for many, many years. I'll tell you, I think Rabbi Glatstein said this to me once, that Rabbi Olbaum said that a person could be a good speaker, but what people really want to hear is the Torah, right? Something like that. At the end of the day, what people are coming to listen is for the Torah that a person brings. And we have the tremendous chus to have Rabbi Glatstein here.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's a great honor to be here. I have to say that when I speak in various communities, so very often they'll take me to the school, and the davening by the boys, middle school, it's not always up to par. But I have to say, this has been, if not the nicest, probably the nicest davening that I've been at of yeshivas really around the country. So, kol hakavod, shkoyach to the Balei Tefillah, beautiful davening. Actually, I remember Rabbi Mendel mentioned, I came from Brooklyn, so I went to the Chavetz Chaim in Brooklyn. And then later on, I was in the yeshiva, they call it the mothership, for many years. But for a short stint, I was in Miami, maybe about 2 months. And I had the zchus to go to your parents for a Shabbos, on an out Shabbos. And it was from my nicest Shabbosim in Miami. I'll tell you more about it off the camera. Okay, boys, I want to share with you a thought about the Haggadah, a very important thought. I think this might be the most important thought on Haggadah Shel Pesach. There's a rule. It's really based on the Gemara. The Gemara says, what's the Torah? What's the Torah all about? It's the Gemara in Saita. The Gemara says the Torah is all chesed. It's kuloi chesed. Says the Gemara, how do we know the whole Torah is the chesed of Hashem? So the Gemara says, well, look at the beginning. How does the Torah begin? It begins, Hashem clothed Adam and Chava. It's a chesed. Hashem was malbish Eruvin. How does the Torah end? It ends, Hashem buried Moshe Rabbeinu, Kvuras Mesim. So it begins with malbish Eruvin. It ends with Kvuras Mesim. It begins with chesed. It ends with chesed. It says Gemara in Soita, the Torah is kulai chesed. Okay, so let's, and we know, they used to, I don't know if they still have bookstores. You want to know what a book is about. So you go into the store, you open up the book, you read the beginning of the book, you read the end of the book, and then you get a basic idea what the book is about. Let's apply this rule to the Haggadah. Okay, and this is really the observation of the Brisker Rav. The Haggadah begins, Hashata Hacha, Lashana Haba, Ba'arad Yisrael. Right? This year we're here, next year in Eretz Yisrael. How does the Haggadah proper end? Lashana Haba, B'Yerushalayim. Next year in Yerushalayim. So it begins next year in Eretz Yisrael. It ends next year in Yerushalayim. That's very nice. But does that have anything to do with the main theme of the Haggadah? The theme of the Haggadah is Yetzias Mitzrayim. It's a story that happened 3,300 years ago. Right? We're reading basically a history book. So if the theme of the Haggadah is Yetzias Mitzrayim, why would it end and begin with next year in Yerushalayim? That's the observation of the Brisker Rav. And the answer is, we have to know, why is it important to read about the events of Yetzias Mitzrayim? Is it history, or is it more than that? There's a Rabbeinu B'chai. Actually, this idea in Rabbeinu B'chai appears in at least 6 places in Rabbeinu B'chai. Ala Torah, in Kara Kemach, in many, many places. Did you ever hear this pasuk? It says, Ki meitzeischa me'eretz Mitzrayim arenu nifla'is. Hashem says, just like I took you out of Mitzrayim, I will do wonders for you in the future. What does the pasuk mean? that somehow the miracles of Mashiach and the Geula Shlema and the final redemption will be similar to Yetzias Mitzrayim. So Rabbeinu B'chaya says an amazing thing. Everything that happened in Mitzrayim will replay itself la'asad lavai. Rabbeinu B'chaya says there will be makas dam, there will be makas svardeya, there will be makas kinem, all the makos will replay itself. Rabbeinu B'chaya says we'll go into a midbar. Rabbeinu B'chaya says there will be a kriyas yamsuf. Rabbeinu B'chaya writes, there were 3 dates given to Klal Yisrael. 210 years, 400 years, 430 years. And we could not reconcile the different dates until the day Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. We figured out, 210 we were actually in Mitzrayim, 400 from the birth of Yitzchak, 430 from the bris ben Abasarim, but we couldn't reconcile any of these dates until the Geula happened. Says Rabbeinu B'chaya, if you look in Sefer Daniel, 3 dates are given when Mashiach will come. And by the way, we don't even know what the numbers are. The numbers themselves are confusing. Certainly, we will not know how to reconcile the 3 dates until the day Mashiach comes. Bottom line is, in a nutshell, whatever happened in Yetzias Mitzrayim is not about what happened in the past. It's about what is going to happen in the future. It's not about, history. You come to the Seder, you say, Tati, why are we reading about what happened 3,300 years ago? We read about it last year. We read about it the year before. It happened so long ago. Is this really so important? It's not about what happened in the past. It's what you need to look forward to in the future. It's coming attractions. I'll just share with you. One of my favorite Haggadahs is the Haggadah Masa Nisim. You know who wrote the Haggadah Masa Nisim? The Nesivos HaMishpat, one of the classic Sifrei Lamdas. Ketzois Nesivis. The Nesivis wrote a Haggadah. Do you remember this line? Let's see if you know where this line is. We say, Al achas kama v'kama, toiva, kefula, umechupelas. Anybody remember where that is? Where in the Haggadah? Remember? Before the Manishtana, after the Manishtana. It's right after Dayenu, right? Like after we say, Elo Etzianu Mitzrayim, we list 15 things that Hashem did for us. We say, Al achas kama v'kama, toiva, kefula, umechupelas. That means, we'll translate the words, that the nisim Hashem did for us are kfula, they're doubled, umechupelas, they're like folded up and doubled again. So the Nesivus wants to know, how are the miracles of Mitzrayim doubled? How are they doubled? There was makas dam, there was makas fardeya. How are they doubled? It says, because every miracle that happened in Mitzrayim has 2 parts to it. It's what happened then, and then it's like the precursor. It's a maseh avoy simin lebanim. It was like the rehearsal for the makkah that will repeat itself la'asad lavai. That's the pshat. Kfula umechupelas. So, we're going to be saying the Haggadah. It's not just about what happened 3,300 years ago. Every single miracle that happened then, we are anticipating and yearning to see in our times. So therefore, if you look at the bookends of the Haggadah, the bookends of the Haggadah tell you what the Haggadah is about. It's not about Yetzias Mitzrayim just for Yetzias Mitzrayim. The purpose of saying over the Haggadah is what? Hashata hacha, Lashana haba ba'arad Yisrael. Is Lashana haba b'Yerushalayim. It's like a handbook of what happened as a rehearsal for what will happen, Be'ezras Hashem, in our times. And the night of the Seder, one of the most important responsibilities that we have is to read about what happened and to be mitzapeh, to yearn and to hope and to anticipate the repeat of all of these great events. We hope very soon in our time. Thank you for your kind attention, and I wish you all a beautiful Yom Tov, Chag Kosher Sameach. Thank you.